as the winner of today's field challenge. You'll now have the opportunity to ask each other 2 questions, alternating one at a time. You can't ask about your real names, your physical appearance, age, place of employment, or where either of you live.
Hello, Browning.
Hi, Roxanne. How you doing?
I really like a guy with a sense of humor. What's a joke you could tell me, or something that would make me laugh?
If you're out last night, you had a laugh at the guys. Geez, I'm running a blank here. There's kind of a cowboy guy in the crew, so we were making fun of him last night. And so it was the 3 biggest lies that a cowboy tells. And one is, yep, won this belt buckle at a rodeo. Next one's, honest, my truck's paid for. And then, listen, I was just helping that cow over the fence.
Good job.
I'd like to know, I guess, A, do you define yourself as a sensual person? And if so, what things give you pleasure in life?
That's a great question. I would definitely consider myself a sensual person, and there are a lot of things that give me pleasure in life. Some of the more sensual things are massages. I'm really big on massages, so I get a massage every week. And of course, all the finer things like jewelry and fine clothes and nice car and stuff like that.
I thought that the questions that Browning asked me were really thought out and made me think about my answers and told me a lot about him, actually, so I thought they were great.
You gotta kind of think on the spot and come up with something, and that's not always easy, you know? It feels like a job interview or something that hopefully I'll get the job, waiting for the call back.
Men were really quick on their feet and really witty and quick. I really like that. So I didn't get a great sense of that, unfortunately, but again, he seems like a really great person, so.
I don't think I'll tell the other suitors everything that I heard. I mean, I might tell them a thing or two just to throw them a bone and give them something to think about. But, I might end up lying to them a little bit too, just to throw them off their game.
This morning, you raced in snowshoes to solve 3 riddles. But now, the snowshoes have come off, and it's time for the creative caps to come on. You're going to write a mystery story, a short mystery story, where you're going to cast yourself as a thief or a detective. Now, here is the premise. A precious original manuscript of the play Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare has gone missing. The thief is the prime suspect, and the police detective is on the case. Whichever character you choose for yourself, Roxanne must be cast as the other character. I know many of you have not tried creative writing in the past, so we have a little help from a professional mystery writer. Allow me to introduce you to Deborah Nicholson.
Hey, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Deborah Nicholson is the author of the Kate Carpenter Mystery Series about a manager who solves murders on the side.
You first of all have to decide who's the police officer and who's the thief. Then you have to imbue them with the characteristics that are not only true to yourself, but will make Roxanne think your story is the most amazing story she's ever read.
What are some plot elements in a mystery that are standardized to help move things along? I mean, we have a tight timeline on this, and
Absolutely.
we're all obviously going to be under stress to get it done.
You have to open with a bang, okay? Your opening, there has to be something that's going to catch the reader. It doesn't have to be the crime. It has to be an event, though. It has to be something big. So you gotta think basically about how you can make your thief a lovable person, regardless of whether it's her or whether it's yourself. That's a huge, huge thing right there. You gotta hook the audience. You gotta bring your characters to life. You gotta make people love them for whatever reasons, even if they're bad. Like, really try and let your imaginations run when you're setting this up. You have to be the theft. You could be set 40 years in the future in an old age home, talking to somebody over dinner, and it turns out that these lives intersected or something. There's sort of like no end of where this can be. And then after you've done all that, you find true love, you live happily ever after.
The suitors have 90 minutes to write their short mystery stories.
I think a lot of the other guys were kind of rattled with the time being an issue. I myself took my time with the process. I wanted to concentrate on quality versus quantity, and I wanted to make sure that my good copy was legible.
It's a test of just trying to remain calm when you're under all this pressure just to get your ideas down on page.
I don't think I did very good on the writing task. I started off pretty good, I think. Didn't get to finish the story. I hope I get something across to her.
I read a lot of mystery novels, and I think I had maybe a bit of an edge on the other guys with that because I read at least one every couple weeks.
I've never read a mystery book, so it was very interesting to try to write a short story. I thought it was really fun and extremely hard to get started.
I think I wrote a great story. I wrote a killer story. I was in the middle. This was to be an epic adventure. This was sort of a cross between the Thomas Crown Affairs and Jane Bond. That's what I was writing. And next thing you know, time's up.
Your job, Roxanne, is to read through these letters, these stories, and decide who stays and who goes. So it will be your first Dear John letter. How do you feel about voting someone off or eliminating someone?
It's kind of scary, just because it is the first one of many difficult eliminations that I will have to do, but it just means I'll get closer to the end and hopefully finding the one that I choose to be with.
Free from the lights of the city, away from prying eyes.
The door clicked open with a sudden snap. The dark figure crept through the door, walking across the magnificent room, past the Ming Dynasty vases, past the Knight statues, and past the Monets.
The doctor pauses as Samuel slumps into his chair. "How much is it going to cost, Doc?" asked Samuel with a sigh. $75,000, he replied.
The window for recovery is so tight that if you're not on the trail within 12 hours, it'll be on the other side of the planet.
The joy we felt when we first met the scroll was replaced by each other's love. With a simple kiss on the neck or dancing fingers on her back, the initial feeling of awe and bliss was still present through the power of our love.
Cool as that.
It was a cool and calm Saturday evening as Oscar Wilde leaves his volunteer position at the museum, when all of a sudden his life takes a turn for the worse.
It's really, really hard to read.
I can't read this.
Oscar,
oh, she's gonna have a good time reading this.
She tasted as good as she looked, and Browning could feel his desire grow as he forced himself to pull his mouth away.
It's kind of passionate. I kind of like his writing. It's passionate.
Hope I'm not the one of the guys to go home, but right now I think I really think it's a lottery. It's just could be anybody out of the hat.
I don't think I'll be going home because I'm happy with what I did. I think it'll be reflected in my work. I think it's gonna cause me to stay in this game.
Suitors. We're here today to find out who Roxanne has invited to stay and who she's asked to go. And now the moment has arrived. Browning, Baudelaire, Burns, and I would ask that Blake please approach the table.
It's pretty intense being up there and not really knowing if it could be you or not. So yeah, emotions do run high.
Shelley, you could back up.
My strategy has been simple from the beginning, and I'm gonna stick to it. Last night it was just keep everything simple and make sure that you do everything opposite of what everyone else is doing.
Congratulations, gentlemen. You survived to write another day. Please step by the fireplace. Coleridge, Longfellow, Poe, and Whitman, please approach the table. You may open your letter boxes.
When you show up for your elimination round and standing there with everybody, realizing that you might be the next guy to go home is right there.
When you're standing up there
it sort of hits you in a way that you're not expecting when you're on your way here. So there is definitely more of a feeling like, oh, it is a reality.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Please join the other suitors. Wild and Shelley, I would ask that you approach the table. Please open your mailboxes, read your letters. Will the Dear John please declare himself?